Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Football Kentron, the only English language podcast dedicated to Armenian football. And what a time to be Armenian. What a time to be an Armenian National Team football supporter. I am joined here by the usual suspects, Armen, Charens, and Tito. How are you guys doing, gentlemen?
Forza!
Great. Excellent.
We just got off the back of a fantastic 2-0 home win against Iceland. And it's safe to say people are starting to notice Armenia, right, guys?
Hell yeah.
Yes, of course.
It's finally time for that.
Finally. And we haven't had this much attention on us since the Euro 2012 qualifications, which we remember what happened there. But hopefully it's not the same, because this is a totally different team, totally different mentality, totally different mindset. But let's jump right into the match. So about an hour before kickoff, the squad for the match got announced, and we noticed that Miranyan was not included, and we found out that he's injured. He picked up something in training, apparently, and he wasn't going to be included, which kind of shitty because he did pretty well when he came off the bench in the last match. But instead, we were pleasantly surprised to see Tigran Barseghyan on the bench. Very exciting young Armenian talent. Of course, Tigran Barseghyan said in the pre-match press conference that he did with Joaquin Caparros that he will not be taking part in this match, and it's very unlikely that he will also be participating in the Romania match. So if anyone is expecting him to play a part, very unlikely. But about an hour and 15 minutes before kickoff, we got the starting lineup. Armen, why don't you run us through the starting 11 that Don Joaquin chose to go with?
All right. At the goal, as always, David Yurchenko. On the right flank, on the right back, Hovhannes Hampatsumian, which was surprising a little because he's clearly the starter, but he endured a lot of kicks and foul play from Liechtenstein, but luckily he was fit enough to start. The center back duo was Varastad Haroyan, our captain, and amazing, best center back ever, and Tigran Barseghyan.
You had to go through that one quick.
Yeah, on the left back, Kamo Hovhannesyan, which was needed because his pace is needed against teams like Iceland. And moving to the middle, defensive midfield duo ended up being Artak Grigorian as predicted, and Salomon Udo, that was replaced in the second half after a long and very hard game on his fatigue level. On the wings, we had Tigran Barseghyan, MVP, clearly MVP, right midfielder. And left midfield, Hagop Hagopian, on another starting appearance. We're going to be talking a little about him, about the youngster that ended up getting an injury for himself, sadly. Probably not going to play against Romania either. And up top, Sarkis Adamian in a more free role, kind of like what we saw of him in the second half against Liechtenstein. And the main striker in the box ended up being Norberto Briasco-Valekian. Another good game for him, another early substitution for him, and in my opinion, another starting game for him coming up against Romania.
Yes. So this was not too heavily changed lineup, but there were some changes in some key areas. Obviously, bringing in someone like Tigran Barseghyan gives everyone like your heart beats like skip because you don't know what he's gonna do. And
definitely,
Hagop Hagopian surprisingly made his second start. Then the last time he started was, of course, our famous 1-0 win over Macedonia that clinched us the Nations League. Charets, taking a look at the lineup and those decisions of those two key changes that were made by Caparros, as a coach, when you're going into a game where you're not really expecting to have a lot of the possession, calling up a player like Hagopian, who is traditionally known as a defensive midfielder or a fullback, in an attacking role, what kind of change does that make to the system that you're trying to play?
Definitely, it's not a new way to play it, but it's a new way to adapt to it. So you can just play that game for let's say, depending on the manager, how he wants to play it for some time during the game, as we saw in this case, or how he wants to proceed it for the next game. So it's important to think about which player you're going to play, when you're going to play him, how you're going to play him, and along who you're going to play him, especially the system as well.
So you're saying playing a defensive player in an attacking role, that type of thing fits into Caparros' system of essentially having an extra defensive-minded body in midfield, but who can also try to contribute down the wings.
Exactly,
right?
And also in a way how he's going to adapt to it, how he's going to adapt to the game, and how the players are going to contribute alongside him, and how they're going to give the result.
Yes.
Consider he had to cover Camo, so it did make sense.
Yeah, and moving on to the opponent's lineup, they played a 4-1-4-1 formation, similar to that as they did against Germany in their opening match, and they had a plethora of attacking options with Sigurdsson, Gudmundsson, Bovarsson, and the other Gudmundsson.
And every son.
Every son. And so they were clearly set up to try to hold the ball and essentially create opportunities with long balls, which is something that they're known for, crosses in or dead ball situations. Tito, knowing how Iceland was planning to play, how do you think, or how would you assess how Caparros set up Armenia's team to counter what Iceland was trying to do?
When the match started, I saw that they were playing like really at the back. That was something that it surprised me. But they created a lot of chances. Like I said in our chat group, it's really important having a solid goalkeeper. When we were 1-0, he saved us from a tie, and I don't know what would have happened if they score on us on that play. But I think that the option here, the plan was to play from the sides, and I don't know if that was like the best fit for this match, because one thing that it always cringes me about Tico is that he tries to dribble to the inside and shoot. But well, that's how the goal was, so I'm not going to complain.
But that's just Tico. That's literally what he does. He frustrates the hell out of you in the first half. Only to do something like that in the second half.
Yeah, he tries that play like, I don't know, 10 times per match. But yeah, luckily
it worked out once, right?
It paid off. Yeah.
So you only need one goal.
Exactly. And going into the first half, it didn't look like Armenia was going to score that one goal. We had more opportunities, actually, more shots on goal than Iceland did in the first half, despite holding a smaller portion or smaller percentage of the possession. Iceland was doing exactly what we thought they would do. A lot of balls in the air, a lot of dead ball situations, lots of corner kicks, free kicks, because Armenian players were giving away strategic fouls to stop any sort of momentum.
But they were, I don't know if it's okay to say they were more offensive, because they had a lot of chances, but they didn't get to actually shoot to goal. That was why we have more chances than them.
So going into halftime, it seemed like a fairly even game. Obviously, Iceland had more possession and a little better quality. Armenia had more shots, but they were from a distance and not really that effective, except for, I believe, that one effort Udo did from like 40 yards out, which for some reason the goalkeeper couldn't hold.
Yeah, I want to see the full stats from the entire qualifiers, because Armenia had like 40 attempts in both matches, between both matches.
So from what I remember on the FIFA website, they do keep track of statistics, and Armenia was ranked third in the first round on the number of shots taken by any team. So in that first match that we had done, so I would anticipate we're still pretty high up there, right? Because 12 shots in this match alone, so we are at about 40 shots.
Yeah, well, 40 between the two matches.
It's about converting them, though.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think we lacked that at the first half. We just kept shooting and shooting and shooting, and they were playing a low block. So,
go ahead.
Go on.
No.
They had a low block, and it was kind of obvious what we were trying to do. We just kept shooting and shooting and shooting from long distance. It wouldn't really work. And then what worked is in the second half, just 2 shots simply coming from the wings where the goalkeeper couldn't reach in any kind of way. He couldn't reach, and we just converted those, and we got the big win. And what I'm saying is we could have also scored way more if we had more of that execution in the box.
Yes. So I think one thing that we definitely lacked in that first half was sharp passing. There was passing, but it wasn't as purposeful as it was in the second half. So halftime, we go in 0-0, and the mood isn't really positive, but it's not really negative. So there was some adjustments made at halftime by Joaquin Caparros in order to get Armenia playing a little bit more on the front foot and trying to make that counterattack happen. So Armenia step out into the second half. The first few minutes, it's more of the same, right? Back foot, defending a lot. But then something changes, and Armenia start playing more attacking with a little bit cleaner passing. Armen, walk us through some of the changes that were made in that second half, some of those adjustments.
Well, I believe that the most important thing when it comes to play style and tactics, in-game tactics, is that Armenia, as you said, the mood, the atmosphere was really positive for the team, and it was clear, it was visible. The goal for us had been to basically keep the Icelanders or Icelandics away from our box. Yeah, I don't know how you say it, whether it's Icelander, Icelandic. They're from Iceland, and we beat them. That's the important thing at the end of the day. But yeah, seriously speaking,
Urartians beat them.
Yeah,
Urartians beat the Vikings.
Yeah, we're the better ancient civilization, one could say.
I wonder who tweeted that.
But in all seriousness, I think that the idea from Caparros was to keep the position away and from our box, and slowly start to take the reins of the game, and that's how things ended up going. Because you can see that Iceland started to get a little more frustrated, a little more imprecise, a little more tired than us, and when they started giving up spaces, that's when Armenia started to get, what's the word you used, Adam? More purposeful.
Mm-hmm.
That's when Armenia started to do the actual offensive work. First off, it seemed more like a Guardiolesque sort of defensive web net. And when we got them, we started to send those key passes up front. And well, of course, that Bayramian coming in after actually Hagopian got injured, sadly, it was a game changer. But in all seriousness, to be fair, Tigran Barseghyan's goal came a few minutes before Hagopian's injury. Shout out to him because he did a great job, the youngster from Muratu. a very not noticed work, in my opinion, which deserves praise. Yeah, that's what ended up happening. We started to make some plays when Iceland started to get a little more shaky and a little more nervous. And that's how Tigran Barseghyan's first goal, amazing goal, by the way, from the right. I believe we all saw it by now in the highlights. It was a great cut to the inside flank, leaving the defender in absolute shock, and a beautiful shot to the opposing woodwork, which hit actually the woodwork and got in. It was a beautiful, beautiful goal, elite European level, and we really deserve to win this one. I mean, changes did end up helping, like substitutions, but we were gonna win it even before we were already winning, even before substitutions.
So the first goal of the match didn't come until around the, if I'm checking it, just to 53rd minute. And it was, of course, by, I feel like the person we haven't shut up about because he's just been so good, Tigran Barseghyan. Tito.
The Hulk.
He has been, I mean, talk about a player that's gone under the radar internationally, right?
Mm-hmm.
Talk us through how he opened the scoring.
Oh, I have to describe the play?
Do however you want, baby.
Yeah. The sky's the limit.
No, I'm saying because
get carried away.
I don't know how good I am to describe a play in English, but yeah, he did what he always does. He did what he always does, and that's what I talked about before.
Mm.
He always thinks he's Messi. He does the Messi play, the Robin play. He tries to dribble to the inside and shoot always. But I love him. He was a big part of the team the previous UEFA Nations League, and he's a big part of the team now. And of course, if the ball goes in, we can't complain about that. He tried to. I don't know if in this play he tried to dribble to the inside because he was already on the box,
Mm-hmm.
but he had like two players in front of him, and he should. He didn't give a fuck about that. He should. and well, it hit the post and went in. So beautiful goal.
Yeah,
Everyone was in awe.
I think so too, and I don't think people expected him to shoot from that angle because of how
Not at all.
tight it was. And you know what? Typical Barcelonan fashion, just does it,
True.
man. He's been the main man for Armenia, and it's really shown again in this match. That
You
goal,
know what
by
I
the
love
way,
about him?
what?
His mentality. What you just said. He's that kind of guy.
Yeah. He's him. I think that's a characteristic that he has, that Haroyan has, and that Hambarzumian.
Yeah.
They have a very much never give up, like screw you mentality.
Leadership.
And it is leadership. And like Tito said, this guy did the same thing 10 times, but it all it needed to do was come off once, and it did. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
So as frustrating as it can be, yeah, exactly, can do attitude. So
He has, like we said here in Argentina, he has huevos.
Exactly.
And that's
He
attitude.
has balls.
Cojones.
Big Armenian balls.
After that goal was scored, we had a substitution, as Ottoman had mentioned. Hakan Caparros unfortunately got a knock, and Tigran Barseghyan came off the bench. Obviously, a fantastic substitute to have coming off the bench. And Norberto Briasco was relieved of his duties around the 62nd minute, similar to that of the match against Liechtenstein. And Alexander Karapetyan made his, what I would call, cameo debut, or cameo in this match, because he didn't really affect the game one way or another too much.
Nah, not really.
So fast forwarding into the second half, it was a little bit more of the same, right? A lot of defending, a lot of set pieces. Like, Jesus Christ, the amount of corners that these guys had in this game was like, oh my God. Like, I personally thought at one point they would score from one of these set piece situations, but Armenia defended very, very well, right?
I've never seen an Armenian national team just as organized as today's.
No,
it was incredible.
Yeah. So
I don't really agree too much.
Well, expand. What do you think? Explain what you think.
Coming from a critical side, I would say that we could have done better because those attempts that they were getting, we were literally giving it to them. With all due respect to Iceland, but the way that we performed defensively, were not very careful. We need to be more cautious the next time. They were physical, but they were also movement. There was also a big movement that they were making.
That was predictable because you have, and we were talking about this in the group chat. On the same defensive flank on the left, we had Kamo Hovhannisyan and Daron Voskanian, who were literally like the definition of shaky. And
Voskanian gave away the ball in that first half like 3 times.
So many times.
Yeah. Bro. So my point.
Exactly, it was annoying.
My point exactly. So they need to be careful. It's risky kind of thing. So in the long term, thinking of it long term, we need to bring defensive reinforcements. As in the youngsters should improve. Yeah, of course, but you cannot play the same players.
Well,
you cannot keep playing the same players.
I want to say something good about Voskanian.
Thank you. Thank you.
We are beating a dead horse. But
did you just call Daron a dead horse?
But he had some interesting passes to Briasco, long passes.
Yes.
He put Briasco in a very good position, so that's something good about Voskanian.
No, yeah, and
not everything is bad about him.
And his tackles were not all that off. I'm just saying that maybe offensively, like exactly those passes, they were a little too risky from during some time.
So it wasn't only him though. In some errors, there was one error I will not forget. Voskanian had it was between Voskanian and Haroyan. Voskanian went to get rid of the ball, I believe, and he kind of jumped or something. Or no, he didn't jump. He just
I remember
he just sprinted. He just sprinted. The ball went through him. The Iceland player just went through that, and he kept going. And Haroyan just jumped in the sky, just to clear the ball and couldn't miss. So it's basically a whole structuring, the whole mentality of the defense. It's not just having the players that are not performing well. Maybe it's like a technical thing that they need to work on, I guess.
Exactly, but to be fair, the risk and the possibilities of Haroyan making a mistake like the one we're talking about now are much lower when we talk Haroyan than in say Voskanian or Kamo Hovhannisyan's case.
Well, let me throw some statistics in there.
It's all about possibilities.
Voskanian attempted 5 tackles in which he succeeded in 3 of them. He had 11 duels overall, and he won 6 of the 11 duels, and he had recovered the ball 8 times. So in terms of a defensive performance, he's done great. He cleared the ball 6 times, twice with his head, and he had 3 accurate long balls, which goes to what Tito was saying, how he was able to pick up Briasco up on top of the pitch. So overall, it was a very solid performance, I would say. And the reason why, all things considered, and the reason why I think Chadens feels this way even more is it comes down to the sharpness in the passing in transition that we talked about. Hovhannes Barseghyan, Kamo Hovhannisyan, obviously sometimes Daron Voskanian, Artak Grigoryan, all of their pass accuracy was substantially lower today than it was the other day. Artak Grigoryan still had a very high one, but a lot of the attempts that Han Barseghyan tried to make, he ended up kicking the ball out for a throw-in around like 4 or 5 times. So
actually, a couple of comments on that.
Sure.
Because Han Barseghyan, as you said, he was a little wasteful today, and I could strictly attribute that to his fatigue, because even if he started and played the whole game and played really well, not as good as the other day, but he is tired. You can tell he's not the same as he was the other day or as he usually is. And even then, he underwent a pretty solid performance, very valuable in my opinion, especially defensively. And the other comment was actually going to be about Charles Sherry, because I remember you, Aram, making the comment on Charles Sherry's passing accuracy the other day, right? Which was, I believe, the highest from the middle of the ground of the park to the back.
So it's
That's it.
Look, the way that the team was lined up today was for a specific purpose. Barseghyan and Barseghyan and Adamyan were tasked with pressuring the Icelandic players into giving long balls. And they did that very successfully because Iceland had 70 long passes in this game.
I agree.
So the tactic was have them try to lob it and then have our defenders try to win the header. They failed most of the time, but the follow-up ball, which is just as important as the initial, is where they made the clearance. Exactly.
Win the space no matter how.
That was the difference maker. So fast forward a little bit, and we find ourselves in a lot more comfortable in the Icelandic half of the pitch, and Tigran Barseghyan does it again somehow magically, and he finds Jorik Bayramyan with a fantastic lob pass. By the way, I don't know if you guys noticed how well he controlled that ball and lobbed it. And Bayramyan did something that honestly, it's very clear that he's just a very talented player. But he took on 2 Icelandic players, got it onto his left foot, and a peach of a shot into the side netting on the opposite side. The goalkeeper could not do anything about it, and Armenia were up 2-0. It was fantastic and euphoric.
That was the moment. I mean, that was the moment when Bayramyan had the right profile, because that's his profile. That's the side of him that he likes to take, and he took the path he always takes in the Russian Premier League, and that's what got him to be a successful player. That's his specialty, and it was just meant to be.
I wonder when was the last time 2 Armenian players scored with their left feet? I wish we could find that out. I'm sure there's some freak way or someone who keeps track of those types of statistics, but we're not going to know any of that offhand. Yeah, if it's not us, I don't know who is. So, full time 2-0. We go on top of the table for a short period of time. We're not going to be there that long. We currently top the group, but North Macedonia is taking on Liechtenstein as we speak, and Romania is taking on Germany as we speak. Those score lines currently are 3-0 to Macedonia, so it looks like they'll be wrapping up and getting 3 points there. And Romania are currently down 1-0 to Germany, so it looks like if Romania can claw back and get a goal, maybe Armenia can end match day 2 on top of the table. But alas, we move forward. Chadens, what do we have up next? What are we facing?
Romania. We're facing Romania, who we're playing Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday same time.
Yes.
What are we expecting? Well, Haji, I don't know. I think you say Haji, his name.
Yeah.
Is from me. That's I mostly know about him. He's a top player, top young striker.
Well,
attacking midfielder.
Who's his dad?
Yeah.
His dad is Giorgio Hagi, who's
but this one's performing very well under Steven Gerrard.
Yes.
So there's that to scare us a little bit, but all of us are quite hopeful. with what's coming. I think they're playing now as we speak, right?
Yes, so they're
against
currently
Germany.
losing 1-0 to Germany. They tend to deploy a 4-2-3-1 formation. That's typically how they play. So how do you see Caparros approaching a very attacking-minded team like Romania?
Tough question.
Do you think he'll go with a 4-4-2 again? Because it's been 4 consecutive games now he's played a 4-4-2.
I think he wouldn't know, because also the way the attacking midfielders did not start all of them, the midfielders. I think he's gonna play on Weimar this one to offer more stability, to also offer more physicality behind.
Okay.
I'm not sure about the striker though. Damian
He seemed a little tired, right?
Yeah. He didn't really
Visibly.
execute the shots that he took, which is
Yeah.
another
He was
critical
visibly
point.
tired. That's actually one of my main concerns about today, and one of the main things with which I didn't agree about the lineup. I mean, Sako was already visibly tired the other day, and I think the best would have been to have him well rested, maybe use him as a power like super sub, because he was really wasteful today, and that's specifically on his fatigue. I think it would have been much more beneficial both for today's game, as well as for having him fresh for the next game if he didn't start today.
Yes, so I think again, as to what you said, Adamian off the bench against Romania could be very beneficial to us, similar
Yeah.
to how Bayramian was very beneficial to us off the bench.
Exactly.
Tito, we know that Romania is a very good attacking team, but they've also shown some defensive instability. Against their match against Macedonia, which they won 3-2, it was very clear that this is not a heavily defensive concentrated team. The only player that they have that's notable in their defense is Kirikesh, who is, I don't know how old at this time. If you're Joaquin Caparros, how would you look to exploit a team that is essentially maybe throwing caution in the wind for most of the games and trying to beat you by scoring more goals than you?
It's simple. It's counter-attacking. I believe that we have to be pretty solid on the back, and we have a lot of fast players to exploit their weaknesses.
Mm-hmm.
We can play at the sides that like we were playing mostly against Liechtenstein, and yeah, we have to get better with the definition, because if we are not going to have as many chances as we had the first game against Liechtenstein, and we have a pretty decent amount of chances today too, but we cannot let these chances go away. We cannot.
We can afford to be wasteful.
Waste.
we need to
That
execute
was
them.
the word. We cannot waste. We have to score. If we have a chance, we cannot waste it.
That's why we need fresh and well-rested players.
So, and looking at it, there were several players that didn't feature in the match today. There were 4 substitutions made. Positive, Tigran Barseghyan made his debut. He got to play about 14 minutes or so. He had some really nice passing, some like nice back heels. I'm very happy.
Yeah, kind of like a Miranian the other day.
Exactly, as similar. He did, of course, he didn't have as much time to make an impact, but anyway.
We have everything was already pretty much settled today, as opposed to the other day.
Yeah. So who we have bench that didn't play? Andre Calasier, Wabemar Angulo, Vahan Bichakjan, Edgar Babayan. Those 4 players
Ciro
didn't feature, and Sero Grigon. So they're all fit and ready and healthy to start. So I think maybe Caparros is going to maybe take a similar approach to what he did against Iceland, except I think we might need to have a more killer instinct, right? That might be the right way to phrase it, because we're looking at the current scores, and Macedonia is up 4-0 against Liechtenstein. So, I mean, we really must have hit their confidence hard because Macedonia is running away with it. So goal difference is predictably, like you had mentioned, Tito, probably going to be very important.
Yeah, I think that was a mistake from us from last match. We had to score.
I think Liechtenstein went all in against us. I think they're not just
by this point.
They're not just psychologically hurt, but also physically very tired.
You know what's something funny that actually came out of that? Their manager, Liechtenstein's manager, in the post-match press conference said that he thought Liechtenstein deserved to win, and I was like, get out of here. He said Liechtenstein deserved to win.
That's low-key funny.
Really?
Though.
So no shots, nothing, no contribution.
Yeah.
If you want to win, you have at least to try to shoot once.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe try to play football instead of karate.
Yeah, of course.
So, guys, a couple of highlights. Caparros highlighted the importance of the fans off the pitch and teamwork on the pitch. He had posted an Instagram post yesterday where he gave us a little bit of insight of what he does behind the scenes and stuff that we don't necessarily see. He had a very nice video for the players, and it was a real good, emotional, positive reinforcement for the players, and it seemed to work because one thing Armenians are very emotional people, and if we have a manager that is able to use that positively, I think these are the types of results that we're seeing. Of course, today we had fans inside the stadium, and we will have fans for the Romania game, and Macedonian Footy on Twitter actually pointed out that his thoughts that he thinks it's unfair that we had fans because none of the other matches are having fans. What do you guys think about that, Chadens?
Well, if it's unfair, take it to the UEFA. That's my comment. I don't think my opinion will make a difference, to be honest, because it's all the UEFA's decision with the COVID and everything. It's what UEFA has decided. Even here, where we're a small country, we cannot even go to the games. We're smaller than Armenia, and it can be counted unfair for us too. But it's UEFA's fault.
Look, UEFA, at the end of the day, they could say yes or no, and what UEFA ended up saying is individual country, and the Armenian government said, sure, do it, but at 30% capacity. And, I think it was a little more than 30%, but the commentator, the English commentator on ESPN was saying, he mentioned it several times, by the way, he was like, these people aren't being socially distanced, which I thought was funny. But
I wanted to point that because as a South American, I think that the atmosphere plays also.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something very important. I saw the second half on streaming that had no commentators, so I could hear only the atmosphere, and
Beautiful.
it was kind of like a South American atmosphere, and that's something I was talking with Armen too, that this thing about atmosphere and being strong in home games is something that Iceland did for the previous Euro and World Cup, and that's something that it paid off for them.
Yeah, and Armenia, funnily enough, the fans kept on doing the Viking clap, which is something Iceland made famous right back in the face.
I think that was disrespectful, but
you know what? They have to take it because we're at the end of the day, dude, we're Armenia. We're no one considers us to be good. The only people that know how good Armenia are the people that actually watch Armenia play, like us. If you watch Armenia, so Armenia is a mystery to most people. Oh, that's why all you hear, Armenia without Henrik Mkhitaryan and their talisman, and it's like, bro, he hasn't been in the past.
Literally, I had the English stream on.
Yeah. Like, if these guys like actually read something, they would realize we won the Nations League without him. The 3 wins we had were without Henrik. The 2 wins we had were without Henrik. Clearly, we don't need
what they
Henrik to win.
forget?
Let
Caparros was an underdog.
Let them underestimate us. I'm sorry. Let them underestimate us.
And
Caparros was an underdog. He beat Real Madrid, Barcelona with
Sevilla.
Yeah.
Sevilla, and now he's here, ready to take on Cruz in a few months. Cruz, I don't know, Ginter, Chan. Do I need to list all the names?
Well, before we get to
to
Germany, we still have a long way to go, bro.
Yeah.
I wanted to add one more thing about the atmosphere.
Sure.
This is the first time that this national team plays with public. So the public, of course, was really excited because they couldn't have I don't know how to say, show their
appreciation.
the appreciation for this team that has already done so much for our country, and let's hope that it's going to do more.
Of course. And like that's something that was previously mentioned on the show, was that the Nations League, there was a war going on. We didn't even get to play at home. We were playing our home games in random ass places. So like we finally got back to Yerevan, and we're very thankful that fans were allowed to come in, because it was a difference maker. And sure, whatever, they might think it's unfair, but at the end of the day, bro, they probably call us farmers or whatever, whatever the new insult in football is nowadays. And if you can't beat farmers, then clearly you're worse. So I don't know what to tell you. All right, guys. Just to quickly wrap things up, do you guys want to go through potential lineups that you guys would like to see against Romania? Let's start with Armen. Give us your 11.
Jesus, always tough questions.
Yeah.
I guess, as always, Yurchenko. I would start Yurchenko. Wow, today Yurchenko saved. I know we talked about it, but wow. It's so important
right
to
after
have
the equalizer, right? Was that the one right after the? Yeah.
It's so important to have a actually European level goalie back there to command the defense and save our asses when we need to. Haroyan, and I don't understand why he would sub Chalishir. Bring him back in. Haroyan and Chalishir.
I think Chalishir would. I think he is coming back in. I think it was a rest because he knew he had confidence in Barseghyan. But I still think Chalishir Haroyan is the starting combination.
Yeah, especially
it always
with an attacking
is.
team like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's clearly the starting duo. But Tito actually made a very interesting and accurate, in my opinion, remark, which was that the language barrier, because Chalishir doesn't speak Armenian as of yet, and the little Armenian that he speaks is Western Armenian, so his communication with Haroyan is not optimal yet, as opposed to Barseghyan, that even though clearly a weaker defender in terms of class than Chalishir, will understand Haroyan perfectly. So that may have been the reason, aside from naturally rotation. But we need Chalishir always. We need him. I would like to rest Hovhannes Hampatsumyan for a change. And but I don't know. I don't know if Ararat is fit enough to play on the right back. If he is, play Ararat. If he's not, play Gamo.
I agree.
And on the left flank, on the left back, I think it's perfect timing for Sero Grigorian to start, unless, of course, Arman Hovhannesyan, and this depends a lot on whether or not Arman Hovhannesyan is fit to play, because he's clearly the starting left back. But I still don't think he's fit enough to start right off the bat. If anything, if he's anything close to fit, he's gonna make the bench, Arman. So hopefully he is. So defense will change, in my opinion, because fitness and rotation are needed. It's been a very tiring window for all of our players, especially fullbacks. Defensive mid, I think Udo is okay to play again. If not, Ubeimar apparently is fit to return to the starting lineup. And man, I was gonna comment on this during the in-game analysis, so I'm using the opportunity now. Garen Muradian. Garen Muradian was so important in the last 10 to 15 minutes. That's when Iceland started to like go all in, you know. That's when Iceland knew they were about to lose a game that for them on paper was very winnable, and they started to go all in, crosses from all over. And you could see I was literally on a call with Tijo telling him, man, Muradian, I know he's good, but today he's clearly like saving us. He got off the bench, and Garen Muradian just started to appear everywhere, like clearances all over the box, our defensive box. And I would like to see him start for a change. And Arta Grigorian played the whole game today. Think about
I don't think he would start though.
Artak? Or who?
Yeah, it would be tough.
At his age, it would be very tough to start.
It would be very tough. He played 2 full 90 minutes, 2 games.
Exactly. He has to rest by now. So yeah, actually, that's what a better opportunity to start the successful Chirac Gyumri defensive midfield duo that was Solomon Udo and Garen Muradian as Wednesday. There's not going to be a better opportunity anytime soon. So, and they sync. They know each other.
And what about attack? What do you see more up on the pitch?
Left wing, clearly, Joren Bayramian returning. He's fit. He's in form. Perfect. Beautiful return. I would bench Sacco. He needs to rest. Rotation. Caparros actually highlighted rotation on his the press conference from after the game today. Right before we recorded, Caparros did the press conference. It was released, and he focused on rotation among other things. So Sacco Aramian needs to rest. I would start Joren on the left, as I said. I hope, and I think it's about time Vahan gets a start at 10, because
this is a running joke by now. every time we say Vahan is going to start at 10 and he never starts.
That's the thing. I mean, that's the thing. It's the last chance. It's the last game. Everyone is tired, mostly everyone. Who are you going to play? You need fresh players, and we all know Vahan is in good form at club level, and it's a good club. It's not like it's some Armenian Premier League or lower Kazakh Premier League team. It's a good club from Central Europe. So it's about time, you know. He's fresh, he's fit, in form. On the right, I think it's Norberto's time, because Norberto Balekian, of course, his natural position at Huracan, at his club, is a right wing. That's when he makes the difference, and that's what led him to become the MVP and captain of that team. He's mostly been playing this window for us as a center forward, as a striker in the box. Of course, not like Karapetyan. It's a whole different style. And this is actually the time for Norberto to take on the right side, make the most of his specialty, let Tigran Barseghyan rest for a change too, and start Karapetyan in the box. An attack, like at the end of the day, an attack made up by Bayramian, Bechakjian, Balekian, the triple B, if you will, and Karapetyan at the box.
All right. That sounds good. Chadens, who is your starting 11?
Similar defense, same I think. The differences I would make is with the Ubeimar starting. Udo, definitely Udo. Today he was spot on. He could have scored as well. Yeah. It was nice to see him just controlling the game around there. But I want Ubeimar to be there to offer stability. I want to see that kind of assurance in the next game. Well,
Yeah, a lot
Barseghyan
will
definitely.
depend on how fit Ubeymar is.
Yeah. I think he's being saved for that last match.
Could be.
Yeah, like that's why I'm not too sure. Like I think I personally want him, but like I don't know. Like it
That's
depends.
fine. Yeah,
Obviously.
that's fine. That's fine. We're just asking you to go through your 11. It doesn't, it's whatever you want.
Spertsan would be in the bench. For me, well, is he injured? No, he's not, right?
No, he just
He's
didn't
fine.
make the
That's
roster.
a great comment.
Okay.
That's a great
Yeah.
comment. I mean, I'm sorry, but think about this. We absolutely dominated Iceland without Ashak, without Spertsan, and with a wasteful Sakwa Damian.
Yeah.
Think about that.
So up top, who do you want to see, Chomens?
If we get Barseghyan on the right wing, which I don't think there will be formation change, but if there is, which I'm thinking it's 75% likely because of the rotations. I think Barseghyan will offer great pressure on top. He will. I hope he converts his chances.
Yeah.
Barseghyan, like I said,
many
Barseghyan
today,
before. Yeah, I think this is well the number 10. I'm not gonna jinx it, so I'll just leave it there.
That's fine.
But
All right.
To be fair, Barseghyan didn't have any real chances today. He was wasteful on the other game against Liechtenstein, but today Iceland was very organized in defense, and it took a team effort to break them.
It was. I think Barseghyan's role in this game was all about hold-up play. It wasn't about. It wasn't about scoring.
Exactly.
That's what I'm saying. He can pressure in the next game. Like he just needs to pressure them.
Okay.
That's
Tito?
all they need.
Yes. I don't know if I'm going to say a full
Sure.
squad.
Yeah, just say players
now.
you would want to see. That's fine.
But I don't know if it's going to be too crazy to think that if we want to use our fastest players to play counterattack, if it's going to be too crazy to think that maybe Camo playing on the midfield like he did on the first match against Macedonia.
Yeah.
It didn't go too well that day, but maybe it's not too crazy because thinking about something similar that we saw today of playing two left backs on the
left
same side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But maybe that isn't too crazy. But yeah, I think the formation would be perhaps more defensive. Maybe only one striker, and I think I'm with you saying that Briasco needs to be the striker. And
Sorry for interrupting. Macedonia is converting.
Oh, I know. Yeah, they're up 5-0. I'm looking at the scores right now. I have it up in front of me.
Yeah.
I was gonna say the final scores before we get off.
It was obvious. But yeah, maybe bench Adamian and rest a little bit, maybe entering on the second half. But yeah.
Okay. I'll go through mine. I think, of course, Yurchenko at the back. That's a given. I think if I think Kamo is going to retain his place at left back if he's not tired. I think we're going to see Çalışir and Haroyan, and Hovhannes Hambarzuman I think will play again despite being very tired. I don't foresee Tigran Barseghyan being benched. He's definitely for me starting on the right side. And then midfield, I think we're going to see Wabeimar and Udo. And then I believe on the left side, we will probably Bayramyan. And up top, I think we're going to see Karapetyan and Briasco starting. And we're going to have Adamian, Bichakjian, Babayan, Spertsan, all coming off the bench. So a lot of firepower coming off the bench, just like today. Because if you have someone like Adamian coming off the bench, a Bundesliga striker. Of course, he's going to be a little bit better because he's going to be more rested and not tired, and he's going to be playing against defenders, or he's going to be attacking against defenders who have been playing
that will be tired
200 something minutes to that point, in 7 days. So that's why I think it'll be lined up like that. Well, that's going to be it for today for us. Currently, at the time of recording, it's 87th minute in both the other matches. Macedonia has wrapped things up against Liechtenstein, and they lead 5-0. And Germany is currently leading Romania 1-0 in the 87th minute. If Romania can do us a solid and equalize, Armenia will finish top of the group. But as it stands, it looks like Armenia is most likely going to be finishing match day 2 in second place, tied on points behind Germany. But tied on points with Germany, but behind by only 1 goal. Armenia, of course, have a +3 goal difference. And that's it, guys. Thank you for listening. We will be back on Thursday or Friday or Saturday. We don't know. We might take a little bit of a break after the Romania game, depending on how we're feeling. Of course, it's midweek, and we also have our work commitments to do as well. But Chadens, Armen, Tito, thank you for joining today. This was a fantastic match. We are very, very excited. We're very proud of Armenia today. Historic victory. Anything else to add, guys?
Savor it.
Yes. I think that on the previous podcast, I said that we were going to get 5 points, and we are better than that.
Well, no, you said 7. So you said you would die for 7 points. So that's still possible. But I want to see 9. I said I have a dream that we go undefeated until Germany, and then maybe you never know. Maybe we won't lose to them either.
Don't get ahead of ourselves.
Joachim, we're going to give you hell.
No, so at this point, like we've always said, taking a match at a time. We have Romania on Wednesday. We're very focused. Hopefully the boys had a good rest, and we move forward. And what do we say, Chadens?
We have so many things to say.
Yeah, we have so many things to say.
But seriously, I mean, aside, Tebiaktanak, we know that, but enjoy.
That's my thing.
Enjoy the moment, guys. Enjoy today's result. It was mind-blowing and paradigm shifting. I mean, we're seeing a different mentality for Armenia as a national team and as a nation. So just enjoy it and make the most of it.
That was very well said, Armen. Thank you for joining us today. We will see you guys later this week. Don't forget to drop us all follows on Twitter. Follow Football Kentron on Instagram and Twitter. And that's it. All right. We will see you after hopefully 9 points. Peace.
Group leaders. Group leaders. That's it.